Hey Spartans, let's go over the Unit 2 recap we discussed in class today. Inspire, you sit on the side. It says here, Evan wrote the integer -7. Which of these statements about Evan's integer must be true? So his number is -7. Is the opposite of -7 going to be 7? Yes. Will his integer have an absolute value of -7? No. Absolute value is the distance from 0, and -7 is not -7 spaces. Is the opposite of his integer going to be -7? The opposite of -7 is +7, so that is false. Will this integer have an absolute value of 7? Yes. The absolute value of -7 is 7. It is 7 spaces away from 0. So our answer to the first question is D, 1 and 4. Going down to number 2. A pet food scientist analyzed the change in the amount of food that dogs ate when given a new recipe. The change in the amount of food intake for 5 days are shown in the table below. Blah, 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 blah. The scientists list these values from greatest to least. So we're looking at just the values in order from the highest value down to the lowest value. Well, what I know is that positives will be greater than negatives. So out of my positives, which one is the greatest? That would be Rover at 2. So Rover goes first, and then Dan goes 6. They named their dog Dan. That's interesting. So let me cross off A because it starts with Dan. B starts with Maggie. Rover and Dan, Rover and Dan. Excellent. Then the next one says, Max had a -1, Maggie a -2, and Blue a -0.5 or a -0.5. So now I'm trying to find which one would be the lowest. So if we're at 0, and positives are up high, negatives are down low. You have like -1, -2, -3. Which one of these values, -1, -2, or -0.5, is the lowest? That would be Maggie at -2. So Maggie needs to be the 5th one. Maggie is last. That is correct here. This one is out. C is the answer. And if you want to plot them all on a number line, that's a good idea as well. So in the positives, we have 1, 2, and the 1/2 would be here. The 2 would be here. -1 is here. -2 is here. And -0.5 is in between 0 and -1. So from the highest to the lowest, you can see their order, greatest to least, or you can reverse it, least to greatest. Number lines are helpful. Let's head to 3. Which of these numbers, which list shows these numbers in order from the greatest to the least? Well, they're all positive, so there's no negatives. I see this is a regular fraction. This is a percent, a decimal, and an improper fraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this fraction to either a decimal or a percent. I've been using decimals, but some of my students like percents. So 3/5, I'm going to use a percent. 20, 40, 60%. Then I have 30, 55. Then I have a 0.35, decimal 2%. Remember, DP, Dr. Pepper, makes me feel all right, all right. So 0.35 is 35% because it's 35 hundredths, and all percents are out of 100, which makes 0.53, all right, 53%. Now 5/3, that's an improper fraction, L. So let's turn it into a mix. 3 goes into 5 one whole time. I'm going to have 2/3 left over. So 1 whole is 100%, and 2/3 is about 66%. So this is going to be about 166%. So I can definitely see that is going to be my greatest value. So I should start with the 5/3. A is out. B is out. C is 3/5. D starts with 5/3, 166%. followed by 3/5, 60%, down to 55%, then 53% here, and then 35% there, and then 30%. So greatest to least. D is the best answer. Oh, I almost missed this one here. Place the numbers from problem 3 on the number line. Okay, so let's see. They're all positive. I'm going to make 0 over here on the left, and then I'm going to put 1 in the middle, and then I'm going to put 2 out here. 1 would be 100%, and 2 would be 200%. Since I did them in percents, I'm just going to put percents on the line. My lowest was 30%. So if this is halfway, that's 50%. So 30% might be, around here. And I'll label it 30%. Check. Then 35% be really close to it, if not like right next to it, because I made my dot so big. 35% about right there. Check. 53% would be just a little bit past half. Put it right there. Put it up top. 53%. Then 55% next, right next to it. 55%. They're all clogged right in here. And then I've got 3/5, which is 60%, so that'd be about 75. Put it right about here. Oh, it's so hard to fit it in there. I should have done a better number line. And then finally, my 5/3, 166%. That's an outlier way over here. About 166.6 for ever hat percent. And when you see that squiggly equals, that means about. That was stressful. I know what I need. Stress relief Germ-X. Kills germs and calms you down. On the flip side, number 5. Little Inspire Rock, you're helping me out. Which of the following is not located on this line right here? So let's plot them all. -1 means to go back 1 space from the origin. That puts me here. See where the -1 is? And then +3/2 says to go up 3/2. So if I go back 1, this is 1/2, this is 1 whole, and this is 3/2. It's not on the line, but it's really, really close. Also for 3/2, if you want to switch it to a mix, that would be 1 whole and 1/2. Okay, G. -3, -1. Let me switch colors. So -3 says to go back 3, and -1 means go down 1. Remember, sideways first, -3, and then vertical second. That's 1/2, -1. Ooh, that looks promising. Let me get a green, and then I'll try the next one. -3/2 is the same as -1 and 1/2, so that's going to go to the left, and then the +1 is going to go up. So let me try this. There's -1, and there's 1/2, and then I need to go up 1 whole space. Wait a minute, that's on the line too. What's happening here? Okay, let me switch colors. Maybe the next one will help. I'll go red. Back 1/2 a space. Now look what they're counting by. They're counting by half, whole, 1 1/2, 2 wholes. So back 1/2 a space, and then this is positive, so up 5/2. 5/2 would be, let's see, 2 goes into 5 twice with 1/2 left over. 2 and 1/2. So back 1/2, up 1, 2 and 1/2. That's on the line too. I have 3 on the line and one that is not. So what you should do is check all of them and then see which one doesn't fit. And the other ones are all on the line. Okay, reading is important. Number 6, plot S on the grid. Okay, S is going to be located 3/2, which is 1 whole and 1/2, and then -5/2, which is -2 and 1/2. Okay, so the positive tells me to go to the right for the X, and this negative on the second number tells me to go down for the Y. All right, so here we are at 0, 0. To the right 1 whole and 1/2, and down 1, 2 wholes and 1/2. Put a nice clear dot and call it S. Beautiful. What is the x coordinate for P? Oh, they don't even want the y, they just want the x. So if you just take that dot for P and bring it down, I see it's between -1 and -2. That would be -1 and 1/2. But if they ask for the y coordinate, you would go across this way and the y coordinate would be 3. But they didn't ask that. Oh well. Number 8. Let's move it up. There we go. Place the following numbers correctly in the graphic organizer. Okay. So -4.0. You can drop that 0.0 and just have a -4. That would be an integer. But if you want to put 4.0, just so you can see it in a different way, that's fine too. 2.3 has a decimal that I cannot drop off, so that is just a rational number only. 9 is one of our natural numbers because I can count to 9. 6.0, again, the 0.0 can drop off, so that would be 6, or you could put 6.0. -1.8, just because it has a negative doesn't mean it goes in the integer. This 0.8 cannot drop off, so that is a rational number, -1.8. Bada bing, bada boom, it's good. Now, remember, if it's a natural number inside the natural circle, that circle is inside every circle and it classifies for all of the number types. If it's just a whole number, then it's not natural. It's a whole number, integer, and rational. This one in the integers, that cannot be a whole number or natural. It's not inside those circles. But this circle is inside the rational, so it's both. Technically, all numbers are rational right now. We get to irrational much later. Okay, number 9. The table shows the amount of time 4 students spent on homework for the week. List the homework times in order from least to greatest. So I'm looking for the lowest first. Okay, there are no negatives, so that doesn't help. They all start with a whole number of 2, so that doesn't help. So now I've got to go to the fractions. Now what I can do with the fractions is find a common denominator and build them all up to have the same denominator, or I can make them into decimals. Except for I don't know what 4/12 is, but I know that's less than half because 6/12 is a half. So let me try this. Less than 1/2. 3/4 is more than 1/2. Because 2 out of 4 is half. 4 out of 8 is half, so Mary is also more than 1/2, and Lucy is equal to 1/2. So if I am looking for the lowest number, and this one's a half, and these two are more, this one's got to be the lowest. So the lowest is Gina. And then the next one would be, so Gina would be the lowest, then there'd be Lucy. And then the ones that are more than a half, I know what 3/4 is. That's a 0.75. 2.75. And 5/8, 2.625. Now the 5/8 has an extra digit out on the side, so if you like, you can add a 0. Okay, so which one is the greatest? Which one is the most? That would be 750 here for Terry. Terry will be the 4th one, and Mary will be the 3rd one. So what do they want us to list? List the homework times in order from least to greatest. Okay, the least would be 2 and 4/12, followed by number 2, Lucy, 2 and 1/2. Then we came over a half, and we got Mary, 2 and 5/8, 0.62, and then Terry, 2 and 3/4. Ta-da! Last question. Woohoo! A waiter receives a 17% tip. Write 17% as a decimal. Oh, I remember this. If I'm going from percent to decimal, PD, that's the police department. And remember what they say? Slow down. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. So my decimal at 17%, I move back 2 places, and I get a 0.17. After all percents are out of 100. 17 hundredths. 17 in the hundredths place. Well, there's a 15-minute review video. Hope you do good on the test. Have a great day.